What's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel and welcome back to Forza Horizon 5 here in the summer season of series number 3. So today we're driving around in our number 25 Ford Bronco that we unlocked in the last video. So if you haven't seen that, definitely go check it out. But today we're going to do the last seasonal championship here in the summer season that we haven't done yet. And that is the Mini Adventure Dirt Championship. So this gets us the mini JCW Buggy, and you can see our car restriction here is B700, and we have to use a mini. So I've got 3 cars set up. I'm gonna go ahead and jump into the first one, and then we'll get this started up. All right, we're gonna start it out here with the 2013 Mini X-Raid, all 4 Racing Countryman. And the share code for the tune, along with the tuner's name that we're using on this car, will be up on the screen now. And as we go through the championship, I'm going to use 3 different vehicles. Just make sure that you guys know that you do not have to do that. You can use just one. I use 3 just to provide some extra content for you guys and to show different options that can be used. So we're going to jump into this one, and then the cars are actually going to get progressively smaller in size as we go through the 3 races. So let's go ahead and get it started and check out those races. All right, so we've got circuit race, a sprint race, and a sprint race. All right, here we go. We've got a little bit of fog here on the Montana Trail, and let's get to racing. We'll see how this thing can do. I imagine that this one won't have any issue with it. That's actually the car that we're going to get as a reward, being that buggy there. So they are saying to brake through there, but I just held down the gas and let it go. Up on the inside there, we're moving up into 3rd now. That one will probably need to brake a little bit for. This one will definitely need to brake, but we'll do it a little late and slide up into 1st place. So up into 1st now. We'll see how the thing does for a little bit. This is just a very rocky course, very narrow, going down the side of the volcano. Yikes, a little too fast through there. Recovered pretty easily though. Yeah, I mean, once you get up in the 1st, it's usually relatively easy to stay there. I always have rewind on just because it doesn't do any kind of penalty to you if you have it on. Like, it doesn't cost you any, the credit bonus or anything like that. So I always just keep it on just because it's a nice little safety net, especially in these trial events where it really doesn't matter that much. Or not trial events, seasonal events, because you're just racing the drivatars. But that is a rough little section through there, so. But we're about halfway through this race, so I think what I'll do is, since I'm up in 1st, I'll just go ahead and skip towards the end of the race in the video. Unless anything interesting or funny happens, I'll see you guys here in a second. Alright, coming out of that section, coming down the volcano, just kind of coming out to the end here. This course is definitely not an easy course to drive, so you're better off probably taking your time coming down it. I actually got turned around one time. I managed to stay in 1st place, but I did get completely turned around just off of a bounce. So, but there we go. We got 1st place there. That is the 1st race complete. So when the leaderboard loads up here, you'll see that we do get 20 points there on the far right. And that is because this is a championship race, so it's not really mattering where I finish in the actual individual races, because you get points on where you finish. You want to come towards the top, but if I hit continue, this is the championship leaderboard, so this is where it really matters. You have to be in 1st place on this championship leaderboard at the end of the 3 races. So let's go ahead and jump into race number 2 and into our next vehicle. All right, jumping into the 2012 Mini John Cooper Works GP. The share code for the tune that we're using on this will be up on the screen along with the tuner's name. I think all three of the tunes we use today are from Ugrundy, so we didn't have any issues with the first one. I don't imagine we'll have any issues with this one or the last one. But like I said, the cars are going to get progressively smaller in size. So we went from the big, off-roading vehicle Mini into this, I want to call it the normal size Mini, because this is not necessarily the Countryman because it's not 4-door, and so this is like a genuine Mini Cooper. So let's go ahead and jump into this next race and see how it can do. All right, and this is the El Pipla Scramble. I'm not 100% sure. This is the circuit race of the championship here. Starting off over here in Guanajuato area. See what we can do. I mean, there's some on-road section here. We're going to use that little vehicle as a guardrail of sorts. The fog in this game can really mess you up. I know it made the trial, the first race of the trial last week, a lot harder with the fog. So up into 5th with that move. Is this a cross-country race or is this a city race? Like, what the heck? We're just driving around the streets. Up into 3rd. I mean, I'm not complaining. I'd rather drive around streets than off-road. Ooh, hit the drift. I should say drive around the streets rather than cross-country, is what I should say. Dirt racing is actually quite fine in my book. Here we go. A little bit of dirt here. This thing turns in really well on the dirt. Those off-road tires that it has on it are definitely good in that aspect. Whoop. Pay attention. And that fog is so dense. That's crazy. Hard on the brakes. I don't know that I've done this circuit at all yet. I think this is the first time I've driven on this circuit. Seems like it's a longer one. It may just because of the car that we're using. I mean, B-Class isn't like super duper fast. So maybe that's the reason why, because we haven't even made it back to the finish line yet. We're approaching 2 minutes on the race. The thing behind us is loud. Cut him off. All right. Oh, turn. That was just a dead straight into that wall. So we're up at the first. I don't have any issue, or I don't think we'll have any issue maintaining the position. So I'm going to skip towards the end of the race just so that this video is not super duper long. But I'll definitely catch back up with you guys if something interesting happens or funny happens during the race. So I'll see you guys here in a second. Alright, so we just rounded the final turn of the race of the final lap, and you can see we absolutely gapped the Drivatars on the 2nd and 3rd lap. Once we got a hang of the circuit, it definitely became a lot easier, so that'll get us another first place finish here in the Mini Cooper. Let's see how far ahead of the Drivatars we were. Almost 10 seconds. 9.5 roughly. So absolutely killed it there. You can see we have 20 more points. And then if I hit next, we are at 40 in total on the championship. So we'll go ahead and jump into the last, smallest Mini. And then we'll get into that last race. Okay, and the last car that we're going to be using is the 1965 Mini Cooper S, and the share code for the tune along with the tuner's name, again it was from Ugrundy, is up on the screen now. And again, I told you we were going in a very small order, so biggest to smallest, and this is probably one of the smallest vehicles in the game outside of the Pills and the Aceta. So let's go ahead and jump into this last race and see how this car can handle this dirt race. All right, so Baja California Trail is our last event. And again, it looks like we've got another foggy race here. But after this, we should get the Volkswagen, or not the Volkswagen, the mini JCW or JWC Buggy, which is that thing right in front of us. This thing is super duper floaty. It looks, I mean, it's funny that those are like, I want to call those big minis. I mean, they're really not like any bigger than like a traditional like crossover or SUV or something, but I mean, compared to this thing, they look massive. Alright, so honestly, this thing is very, very floaty. I think it just doesn't weigh enough to be good at like off-roading, quite honestly, like in this aspect of racing off-road. I mean, it's doing fine, it's just super duper bumpy, but I think your best bet is either to use the John Works Mini, being the one we used in the second race, or the last race, whichever one you know, prefer, or that all-in, or the X-Raid. Both of those did really well. It may just come down to which, if you've got one of those, is the one that you use. I mean, if you've got this mini, you would probably be able to do it fine. It's just, it's a lot to handle. And I'm just trying to make, you know, good suggestions on, okay, let's rewind. Apparently this thing's super duper top heavy. So we will slow down and take a turn a little bit wider there. And that's why I have rewind on, because situations like that arise all the time. But yeah, this thing isn't the easiest to kind of handle. So for an easy win, you're probably better off with the X-Raid or that John Works Mini. So I'm sure that any other of the minis would work just as well. So if you do use one of those, definitely let me know down below. And if you've got a share code for a tune, yeah, throw it down there too. I definitely want these videos to be helpful for anybody, and so it doesn't necessarily mean you use the cars that I've used in the video. So definitely help each other out and put those in the comments below. I mean, we're increasing our lead, it looks like, so definitely didn't do bad. And we'll go across the line with a little bit of style to end off that championship. Finish first, Baja California Trail complete. That'll get us 20 more points on the championship and then 60 points in total. And if I hit continue, it'll take us to the podium. Man, look at that thing is squatted. I don't know that I even noticed that before, but I don't like that. But that does get that X-Raid John Cooper buggy for us. All right, but there we go. So that is the Mini Adventure Seasonal Championship here in the summer season of series number 3. To get the John Works Cooper, or buggy rather. I hope you guys did enjoy the video or found it helpful. If you did either, definitely leave a like on the video. Definitely get subscribed for future Forza Horizon 5 content just like this. But I do hope you guys have a great rest of your day, and we will see you in the next video.